And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast, previewing the 2022 Sanderson Farms Championship, just fresh off the Ryder Cup. You can check out the podcast on Twitter at Always Press DFS. Give it a rate and review on iTunes. We truly would appreciate it. I'm on Twitter at BDentric, and my co-host is always on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how we doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Fun weekend, wasn't it? Fun weekend. What was your thoughts on the absolute drubbing by the USA on Europe?
Yeah, I didn't, I don't think anybody expected it to be that bad. I guess it was the largest margin of victory right since
77 or 72 or something. Yeah, something crazy.
In the new iteration where it's the U.S. against Europe instead of just U.S. against England or whatever. But, yeah, man, they got off to a hot start, and they just the Americans just poured it to them for the whole entire weekend. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it was home field advantage or, there's obviously a huge talent gap between the U.S. and the Europeans. And I feel like that really just kind of showed. Maybe it was a golf course, whatever the case may be. It was quite, it was fun to watch as an American. So I enjoyed it from that perspective.
Yeah, no, it was a blast to watch. That's for sure. I was shocking. It was that lopsided. It really was. Rory didn't do anything, and he let you know about it in his post-round interview, which was great. It was great to see that he cared that much. But he was a big surprise to me this week, I would say, that did not show up. Rahm was amazing. He had a great quote at the end. As someone asked him, "How good was this America team?" And he says his literal words were, "It took everything I had to effing," he said the actual word, "make it 16 holes each round." Like that, that's how good the U.S. was playing, basically. DJ 5-0, No Hat Pat was balling out there.
Yep.
Xander, I think drunk Xander might be the most fun person on the face of the planet right now. Cigar Xander, like amazing.
I think that the post-round press conference was some of the best shit I've ever seen, golf-wise.
Just complete not giving a shit, just drunk disaster.
Just having a good time, letting it loose. That was a lot of fun to watch. I actually turned football off for a little bit to watch that. I didn't watch a whole lot on Sunday because I played golf and then came home and watched Red Zone, but and it was over. I knew that unless I saw something on Twitter that there was a magical comeback, but it just wasn't happening this past week. It's just I don't know, man. A lot of people were saying it's that it's just going to be like this for a long time. Obviously, I don't think we'll see 19-9 again. But it is, man, it's different when we go over there. They're going to set up the course the way they want to set it up, and it's going to be a different ball game. It's not going to be these, 100-yard wide landing areas for these guys. So, but that's part of it, so it'll be fun in a couple of years to see what it's going to be like over there.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more like Paris, that's for sure. I wonder if we start the discussion now, like Bryson doesn't make the team Kiz. Do we start that because the type of golfer might be different? We'll see, because Bryson was amazing. Like on Sunday, driving the first hole, like 400 something yarder. The way the picture of when him and Scotty were teamed up, how they approached the par 5. It's the thing that we know is we said Bryson gonna be a wild card because we've seen him try that and it fails miserably. But we've seen him try it and do that, and you're just like when he won the API and stuff, where it didn't matter what he did, or when he won some other tournament. So that's the wild card that is Bryson DeChambeau, and it was awesome to see. He was fun. JT was he was the best cheerleader on the face of the planet. He played good golf, but man, he was something else. It was fun watching it. It was fun watching those guys. Even Brooks was doing things. Finau, English, you could never tell really where he was. He was just kind of like there, but overall, it was fun.
If Spieth and JT could putt, it would have been worse.
What about that Spieth shot off the side of the hill?
Oh my God!
I would have just taken an unplayable up like Lowry did on Sunday. I would have been unplayable. Like
the level of difficulty there. Well, Lowry was further up the hill or whatever, so like he literally couldn't even take a stand.
He would have fell back off and rolled down. Yeah,
he couldn't even stand there and hit the ball. Jordan got lucky that it got far enough down the hill, but just the level of that is 1,000 out of 10. It's completely amazing to me. It's unfathomable.
The shot tracer showing how high it went.
Yes,
was like because I'm sitting there watching it and in real time going, did he really like? How did he get it there to stop? Like I couldn't think of it even going that high in my brain.
No.
And I'm watching that going, that can't be real. But then you think about it, like, man, maybe. Like, that's freaking crazy, but maybe.
If I hit that at best, I'm pegging somebody's forehead on the other side of the green, up on the side of that hill. I mean, it's just insane to me. But and then of course JT misses the putt.
Of course, yeah. But that's what we say about JT. Like every week when we do this show, best ball striker on tour, at least one of the top 3 or so. Can't putt for shit. Like if he ever putts, him and Rory, if they ever just putt, they're gonna win everything. It's crazy.
True.
Watching Morikawa, like I was wondering about him because of how banged up he was. That dude, cold-blooded killer.
Him and Brooks both.
Yeah. They like that was the fun part because like Morikawa and DJ were a hell of a team, but Morikawa and Brooks were a hell of a team. Like I guess in reality, Morikawa could probably team up with anybody in the grand scheme of things. He's that kind of guy, but they seem like they kind of worked their way because Morikawa was not overly like excitable in either of those two guys. So it's just like, let's go play, we'll dap it up and we'll freaking go. And like Stricker knew what he was doing. I'll tell him that. I'll say that much because like I was texting you, we were texting in the Discord and stuff, and sometimes the pairings, I'm like, oh, what's he doing? And then you watch him play, you're like, huh. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Makes a lot of sense. Like splitting JT and not Cantlay and Xander up. They're like, what are you guys doing? Well, they can't win in best ball. They win in alt shot. It's what they do. So made sense. Like little things like that. It's like,
for sure.
So it was awesome. The another thing I'll say is I got to watch a little bit the first 2 days. Sunday I played golf and I got to watch like a good couple hours afterwards before they locked it up. And I will give the Euros credit because the U.S. they weren't giving it to the U.S. The U.S. was getting birdies. Like they were just destroying them. It was a dart throwing competition. Even both sides. Like you'd see Europe throw like a great shot out there within like 10 to 15, and the Morikawa would come and put one within like 2 feet. It was just like, it was demoralizing if you're a European because they were just embarrassing you with their shot making, even though you weren't playing bad at all. It was just like you got smoked. That's why I said that Rom quote. He's like, I played great and I could still barely make it 16 holes. Like they were just lights out. Fierceful. It was nuts to see.
Yeah, no, it was for sure. I do feel like the Euros, I think if they had to do it over again, they would. I mean, I just don't know how you don't play Shane Lowry more.
I'm 100% with you. When he wasn't in the first, Lowry and after you saw Fitz on the first day, he should have been in both segments in day 2 because he actually looked pretty decent. Him and Wiesberger, like those two guys, I know they were rookies. They looked a hell of a lot better than the old boys. Yeah. So like. Yeah, I'm with you there. Obviously, they have their formula that's worked for all these years, kicking our ass, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, so I'm with you.
I did enjoy it out of one of the only U.S. losses, or I don't know if we lost it or pushed it, but Poulter was awesome on Sunday. That was vintage Ian Poulter, match play Ian Poulter. So that was fun to see as well. But yeah, Lowry was a confusing one. They're getting older though, so it'll be fun because there's already people out there predicting who will be on their team, like Bobby Mack, maybe Matty Wallace. A lot of interesting options they got coming. I got Mita. Oh, Mito's down south. He'll be in the President's Cup. I'm thinking of Guido. He'd be a fun one. Mm-hmm. They got some youth coming too, so like U.S. can't get too excited forever. Like it's coming their way also.
I'm with you.
But all right, we'll wrap up the Ryder Cup there. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It brings, the President Cups was fun last 2 years ago when they came back in Australia, but that's usually always kind of a tougher one for the opponents to win. This was good, and I'm really looking forward to Rome. Well, I hope to God we're open up back then because I want the full onslaught of that golf course.
I can't get my wife to watch sports ever, and we watched the Ryder Cup all day on Saturday, from beginning till end, and so that tells you right there how much more different the Ryder Cup is than anything else. So
100%. I agree. I tried to explain to people that don't like golf, hate golf, think it's boring to watch golf. I'm like, guys, this is different. This is like Happy Gilmore golf. I'm like, oh, I can get into that. And I'm like, what do you mean? So like I send them videos, like, look at MJ. MJ sitting here. It's good enough for the GOAT of all time of probably any sport combined to come and sit and watch and root for them as a spectator, not as a player. Like that shows you everything you need to know about this deal.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh wow. So like I'd send them clips from time to time, and the next thing you know, I'm getting text messages. Hey, how we doing? How we doing? I was like, oh, so now you're interested. Okay, that's what
guarantee it.
So we'll get you in Rome. We'll get the whole crew to watch it in Rome. But I'm looking forward to it, and it'll come up faster than we think because technically we're a year behind on this one, so it'll be right around the corner. And I wonder if they'll do, because I know it was the French Open or whatever when they moved the event to Paris the year before. There is an Italian Open, so I wonder if we'll get the Rome course next year, maybe, or the year beforehand type deal. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't know about that either. I think they did play a tournament there a couple years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and the reviews by the professionals were not good.
Ooh, that's not good.
So, but apparently it's been redone since. We'll see.
I would hope so. If you have a Ryder Cup, you better bring the A+ game on this one. So I don't doubt they will. All right, Sanderson Farms. It is 2022. It felt weird to type it out, but it is technically the 2022 season of golf, as goofy as it is. So it's the 2022 Sanderson Farms Championship. I like this event. The field's better than I expected it to be when I first opened it up. It's obviously not great. It's a fall swing tour event, but it's not too shabby. So what do you got for some past event history on this event?
Yeah, last year Sergio was your winner, 19 under, one shot over Peter Malnati. 2019 edition was Sebastian Munoz, 18 under in a playoff over Sungjae M. Cameron Champ won his first win, I believe, in 2018. 21 under, 4 shots over Corey Connors. Ryan Armour won it in 2006 or 17. 2016 was Cody Gribble. 2015 Peter Malnati. Nick Taylor in 2014, Woody Austin in 2013. The tournament record is 24 under, shot by Scott Stallings in 2012. This was changed, though, because this used to be an opposite field event, right?
Yep.
And I think in 2019 was the first time that it was not an oppo field event. So this is
it's a real deal finally.
Yeah. This is why back, obviously, 2018, a little bit weaker in the field, but, I mean, it's not drastic to the point where you're like, I'm not going to use that course history, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, Lynn from Rotoballer, he had a 3-tweet segment about this event that this has actually been going on, I believe, at this same course for like 65 years. But the first like 35 to 40, it wasn't even an official event. It was an alt event that wasn't even official. Like the money was real. None of it mattered. Like nothing counted towards your PGA Tour success. And so it felt like an outlaw tour event, basically. And then they made it an alt event opposite of, but it was different times of year. One, like it was Masters, then it was WGCs, British. It was all over the board.
I mean, at one point it was opposite of the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup.
Yep. So it's been like, this has literally been the redheaded stepchild of the PGA Tour. But the last few years, like you mentioned, it seems like it's stable. You actually get points FedEx wise. You get, your 2-year exemptions. You get what you expect now, finally, at this event. So we'll see how that keeps playing out here. But it's a fun course. It's this par 72, the Country Club of Jackson. Par 72, 7,461 yards. Sounds quite long, but it's not that long. You got the 4 par 5s, but you got a lot of par 4s. 6 of them are only 4 to 450. So very, very gettable. You have 2 par 3s, about 160 to 180, and 2 that are well over 200. So your ball striking for the most part of this event, you want to look at guys that are good at par 4 scoring between 4 and 450. That's a positive one. You want some good par 5 scoring because when you look at this course, your par 5s, the third hole, 40% birdie rate. The fifth hole, 24% birdie rate. The 11th hole, 37% birdie rate. And the 14th hole, a 33% birdie rate. So you want to make sure your boys are getting at least a birdie on these par 5s. It's going to be very, very crucial in these events. Some of the longer holes, the longer par 4s, the longer par 3s, that's where you're going to see most of your bogeys. So a lot of your shots coming in here are going to be, between like 125 to 150 and then over 200, depending on where they're setting up their shots. The rough is not penal at all. It's like 2 inches or less, so you can bombs away, have some fun out there. Limited bunker access, really no water at all to speak of. It's Bermuda greens. Basically, what's won here lately is the approach game. So you want to be good off the tee. That's why you can be long. You got the camp champs of the world, even Munoz. But then you got guys like Sergio who does it at long, but great approach game. And then obviously luck box putting always comes into play, Jesse. But this course, if you go back in recent years, Justin Ray tweeted out something that out of all the events, this is one of the ones where approach way outweighs putting compared to most other weeks. We'll see how that plays out this week. But basically, grip it and rip it, and then have a good wedge game, and you might have some fun. Like you said, the record's 24. Most of the time, it's give or take 18 to 20. So just get your birdies on. What stats are you looking at this week?
Yeah, definitely for that reason. You got weight birdie or better percentage for sure. Strokes gained approach, greens in regulation, and there's plenty of course history. So I weight that, this week as well.
Most definitely. Don't forget, guys, fansharesports.com. Use promo code AlwaysPress for 20% off the package of your choice. Just looking at a couple things here. Last 6 events just coming in good form. DraftKings scoring, leading the field. P. Raj, Patrick Rogers, last 6 events. Harold Varner, Scott Piercy, Joseph Bramlett, Mito Pereira is your top 5 here. And then if you're looking at last 6 events on par 72s, over 7,400 yards, DraftKings scoring, Charlie Hoffman, Joseph Bramlett, Scott Stallings, Corey Connors, Chad Raymie, only played 1 event though. Willie Z checks the boxes as well. So a couple big names to talk about there, but we'll get into more of it here when we get into the old DraftKings scoring. And let's do it. We have 10K and above on this slate. Sammy Burns, 11,000 leads the way. Will Zalatoris, 10.8. Sergio, 10.5. Sungjae, 10.3. Connors, 10.1. Who are you looking at 10K and above?
Let's start with, Will Zalatoris. Obviously, all these guys are playable. I will say that I doubt that I play anybody above 10K, but the one guy that I would consider for sure is Zalatoris. He did miss the cut here in his 1 start last year, but it's coming off the 11th place finish a couple weeks ago out in California, 29th the week before that, 8th the week before that. So playing really good. Obviously, Sergio's defending champion. I think he's okay, but is he going to be mentally worn out from this last weekend? Corey Connors at 10-1 would be my next pick. But again, if I'm going to play anybody, it's going to be Will Zalatoris, but I doubt I'd play anybody above 10K. I really feel like this week there's plenty of options below 10K, but also I want to be more balanced. I'm just trying my damnedest to get a 6-6.
Yep, I'm with you there. And that 6K range in events like this, we know aren't too pretty too often. But
no.
I will say I saw a stat from Justin Ray. He just does great stats, so I mention him a lot. But he tweeted out because of what you said, and I thought the same exact thing when I saw it. I know I've heard it elsewhere, the Sergio post-Ryder Cup, this and that. His first event post-Ryder Cup, and I don't know if it's the immediate week, but I'm guessing, you never know, since 2008 for Sergio. In 2008, finished second. 2012, 9th. 14, he finished second. 16, he finished 17th. 2018, he won. So, given they're usually doing much better in the Ryder Cup than a 19-9 drubbing, but he seems to show up, and he actually played well last week.
Yeah, he did. Him and Rahm were a good team.
Yeah, Team Spain. The Spaniards, they just needed a little more help elsewhere, but they were probably the best team they had out there. So we'll see on Sergio, and I wonder if that will lower his ownership because over the last 24 rounds of my model, I took off doing just the Country Club of Jackson because I want to get a more widespread, even distribution, so it differs a bit. But he's second in my model. He's 4th off the tee, 5th in birdie or better in this field. Putting's his bugaboo, and 125 to 150. He's very, very poor at. But everywhere else, he checks the boxes really well. So Serge is interesting. If he's low owned, I'm with you there. Otherwise, I don't mind Willie Z. And then Corey Connors definitely checks the boxes. If we're talking about a guy, if you want a good approach game, well, he's one of the best iron players on tour. If he can just get it out there and hopefully luck box into some putting, he could be very, very strong as well. So I like Serge and I like Connors up here. I don't mind Willie Z. I just think for some reason, if people are paying up here, I think they're going Willie Z or they might go Sam Burns. Burns is a bomber. This would fit him perfectly if you want to go that route. At the same time, 11K, when you want to get a little more balanced, it's tricky. Very, very tricky. 9K range, you got Mito Pereira at 9,900, Keegan Bradley 97, Siwoo 95, Cam Tringali 94, Sebastian Munoz 93, HV3 92, Cam Davis 91, Charlie Hoffman 9,000. This is a much more comfortable range, I would say, Jesse.
Yeah, that's why I would rather be down here and start here, especially with Mito. I mean, I think he's going to be high owned at 9,900, but I feel like he's going to win at some point over the next 8 weeks that we have golf. So the next 2 months, the next 8 golf tournaments, I feel like we're going to get a win out of him. So it's just going to go heavy, this fall. So if you listen to this podcast a lot, obviously I've talked about him in the past, but this price is a lot more reasonable in my opinion than the 8,000 he was at the Fortinet, whatever the fuck that tournament was. He was 17% owned there. He was 22% owned at the Wyndham, where he was 7,900. In like major events, not opposite field events, the most he's been is 8,500. Or no, I'm sorry, the most he's been is 8,000 because he was 85 at the Barbasol. He was 10-4 at the Barracuda. And both of those were opposite field events. So this price, I hope maybe he gets a little bit of ownership down. I don't necessarily expect it, but I think it's possible. Keegan at right below him at 9,700, 4th here last year, has made 3 straight cuts. He's got an 11th place finish there at the Northern Trust. You would think that this place would fit him pretty well as far as ball striking goes. Cam Tringali made a fool out of me whenever I said, why would I want to pay $9,700 for Cam Tringali at the Fortnite Championship? He was 11% owned there at $9,700 and finished 22nd. He's made the cut all 4 years he's played this event. Best finish is 16th, which was 2019, but I like Cam quite a bit this week. Another Cam Davis, 9,100, finished 6th here last year, 28th the year before, missed the cut in 2018. Has made 6 straight cuts on tour. Not great finishes. Obviously, he did win the Rocket Mortgage. That was fucking almost 3 months ago now. But just steadily playing, and he's kind of, in my mind, anyways, like a what was his name? Cameron Champ. Is a similar type of golfer as far as Cam Champ goes, and then Charlie Hoffman made cuts the last 2 years here, 6th and 23rd. I've been playing just pretty steady Charlie Hoffman, solid golf of late. If you take out the British Open, he hasn't missed a cut since before March or before April of this year. So playing really solid golf at $9,000 there.
Yeah, no, it's a solid range. Mito should be very popular, but at least he's priced accordingly. Like you said, he's 4th in my model. He does pretty much everything perfect right now. He's a birdie machine, great on par fives, really good approach game. And like I agree with you, he's gonna break through in a big way sooner than later. I think I'm gonna go Keegs this week. He's 18th in my model, but when he's priced up like this, he usually gets like the whole it's Keegan Bradley, I can't do a thing. And I get it. He ranks 129th in the field in putting, horrible. But he's 1st in approach. He's 5th in opportunities gained. A lot of the reason why he only has 112 birdie or better because he doesn't putt for crap. But he gives himself chances. And on a course like this, that can be pretty big. I'll be very intrigued by the ownership there on Keegan, and it might sway me to put a little more love on him in my 20 max builds. Cam Trangali, definitely like him. 38th in my model. Great approach game. Great off the tee stuff or driving distance as well. So wrong one. Par 5 is what I was reading. 6th in par 5 scoring in the field, and 17th on par 4s, 4 to 5, 450. So I like Tringali quite a bit at that price point. And then Cam Davis, I 100% the Cam Champ comparisons are very, very popular with him. I agree with that. And then I like Charlie Hoffman a lot. The guy just keeps getting better and better. He's 4th on par 4s, 4 to 450, 10th in opportunities gained, 15th in birdie or better. He just checks the boxes in so many spots. So I like Charlie Hoffman quite a bit this week. I think you can make 2 to 3 guys this 9K range and really get after it. So completely agree with you on if you want us get out of that 10K range, no problem with that at all. 8K, we got Streelman at 89, Seamus Powers at 88, Griot 87, Ortiz 86, Wolf 85, Woodland 84, Wise 83, Kazire 82, CT Pan 81, Doug Gim, and Mathias Schwab at 8,000. Another quite interesting range here. You can mix and match a little bit here, Jesse.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's some firepower down here. Start with Seamus Power for me at 8,800. He did miss the cut here in 2019, but before that he was 19th, 18th, and 29th in his 3 starts before that missed cut. He hasn't missed a cut in forever. Let's see, it's been a while. Back at the AT&T Pro-Am in February, he's got a win at the Barbasol in between there and a bunch of top 10s. So I like him quite a bit. And then I'm really interested to see how high-owned Wolf and Woodland are going to be in this range. They stand out to me as obviously guys who are winners. In particular, Woodland has won a major, been dealing with injuries, not playing. It's like the worst year in a lot of years for Gary Woodland last year. New season, can both of these guys right this ship? At 8,500, 8,400 in this field, I feel like they are steals. And so if I'm playing, 20 max or 150, I'm trying to fit these guys in for sure because I feel like they can win. CT Pan 8,100. He finished 12th here last year, coming off a 6th place finish at the Fortnite. He's up and down, but he's, I think, a really good GPP play. And then Mathias Schwab, he did miss the cut here last year. 12th at the BMW PGA Championship over in Europe just a couple weeks ago. And the model just likes him for whatever reason. So at $8,000 there, that's where I would be.
Yeah, no, the Wolf and Woodland one, especially Wolf, he got my attention. He doesn't rate out too well on his recent performance, but he's that kind of guy that, he's had a few weeks off, almost feels like forever off for Wolf. He could definitely figure some things out when it comes to driving distance, 5th in the field, Par 5 scoring he's great at, birdie or better he's good at. It's just kind of the consistency off the tee's been whack lately, and his his proximity game's been a little goofy. But I agree, at $8,500, I think he's very intriguing, at least to pay attention to ownership on him, because he's a guy that could easily walk in here and finish very, very well. If he was playing good golf, he'd be a mid 9K guy at least.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good call on him. I like Seamus Power a ton. 5th in my model. I played him a ton towards the end of last year, but 5th in my model, 5th in approach, 7th around the green, 7th birdie or better, 4th in par 4s, 4 to 450. Doesn't suck in the other categories either. Like, he's playing great golf. His stats show it out. I like Seamus Power a lot at $8,800. I don't mind Griot if you're looking for approach game, one of the best in golf. Can't putt worth a lick, but he's 8th in approach, 6th in birdie or better. Rates out top 40 or 50 in pretty much every other category. So I don't mind Griot at 87. Carlos Ortiz is the one that I'm really locked in on, because similar to Wolf and Woodland, past winner, not here, but he's a winner. He competed in some majors last year. He competed well in the Olympics, well in the FedEx Cup. He just he couldn't putt at all. 135th in the field in putting, but he's 3rd in approach, 5th in opportunities gained, 2nd from 125 to 150, decent par 5 score. Ortiz is another one. We know he can hit it a long ways. He's 8,600. He could be another kind of steal in this range to kind of differentiate yourself. I like the Wolf call. Aaron Wise is also another one. Like, it's weird. A lot of past winners in this range. Like, you can not at this event, but on the PGA Tour. Wise is 10th in my model. He's 1st in birdie or better in this field. 20th in par 4 scoring. 23rd in par 5. 21st or 30th on approach. 23rd in opportunities gained. Like, he rates out very, very well. So he's another guy I'm going to take a heavy look at. And then some other guys who might get a low ownership here is Patton Kizzire. He does very well. He's kind of alt field events that are a little not as powerful birdie fest type events. Kizzire usually shows up and plays really well. He's 4th in birdie or better in this field, 9th in proximity 125 to 150, and 15th in par 5 scoring. So he's a guy you can get in at very, very low ownership that can make a cut and make a run for you. At worst, maybe get you a top 20, if not better. I think Kizzire at 82 is quite intriguing. So it's 8K range. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to, and I think you can differentiate and play some ownership games if you want to, especially if, say, people wisen up and go heavy Wolf or Woodland. That opens up a boatload in this range that you can have some fun with. 75 to 79, you got Bramlett, Todd, Pendrick, Mitchell, Reavie, Stallings, Rogers, KH, Lee, Hughes, List, Johnson, Kirk. Who you liking here?
Start with Bramlett at 79. The model likes him pretty well. 44th here last year, missed the cut the year before that, coming off a 42nd place finish at the Fortnite. I really like Taylor Pendrick, though, right below him. He's a rookie. 36th at the Fortnite, 13th Barracuda, 11th Barbasol. Similar events as far as strength-wise. I think this price is really good on him, and the model likes him pretty well as well. Rogers, I mean, the dude obviously just he is what he is. Is it a Patrick Rogers week? I guess I should ask you that first.
The model's saying, 19th of my models, and everything on this thing is nice and green. It's like T30. It's like 30th or better on like almost every category I'm using.
There you go, Patrick
and
Rogers.
I mentioned on FanShare over the last 6 events, he is number one in scoring.
Yeah. So. I had him checked off before you said that, and then now fuck, I'm going to have to play him.
But you know how he gets, man. When he goes, he goes. But when it's ugly,
I know.
Really freaking ugly.
Trust me. And then last but not least for me, Zach Johnson, 23rd and 14th in the last 2 starts at this event. 47th in his last start in the PGA Tour, which is the Northern Trust. Missed the cut to Wyndham. 34th, 25th before that. I mean, he's Zach Johnson. Everybody knows who he is. He is what he is at $7,500. In my opinion, if you're playing 150 lineups, you throw him on a couple.
Yeah, he's played well at courses like this before. He was a great cheerleader at the Ryder Cup, a lot of butt slapping, so he did pretty good there. But this is a fun range. Bramlett, number 1 in my model. So we'll see how this goes. 4th in approach, 13th in op gains, 2nd in driving distance, good par 5 scorer. He was playing great towards the end of the season on the Corn Ferry and everything to get his tour card. So I'm with you there. Love Taylor Pendrick as well. In this field, first off the tee, 8th in opportunities gained, 1st in driving distance, 2nd in par 5 scoring. It's the approach game that can be wonky at times, but if he's bombing it out there, he played well for us at Safeway. We're on him then. This dude's a bomber. He was the long driver on the Corn Ferry Tour, and if you compared it with the PGA, I think he was right up there towards the top as well. Obviously, if you look at the stats here, he's 1st in this field, combining the 2 for the last 24 rounds. So I like Pendrick a lot with you as well. He's very intriguing. Other than that, like you could go a little Scott Stallings if you want to be different. He always kind of shows up at smaller events like this. I do like Rogers as well. Like I mentioned, 19th in my model. This is weird because this price range is my top 3 guys in my model. So this is terrifying because Luke List is third, Jesse. Third. Never a great feeling. But we've talked about this on the side before. Do you trust the model or you don't? You got to go all in or not. I might not be as heavy on him, but I'll have some because of this. Third in my model. He's 4th in opportunities gained, 9th in driving distance, 12th in par 5 scoring. It's always the putter with List. So I don't mind going to him at 75 as well. So this is, I got List and Bramlett. My top 2 of my top 3. List and Bramlett are in this range. And that's very, very terrifying. All right, 7K to 75. Who are you looking at here?
Barjon at 7,300. Missed the cut here last year, 6th the year before that, and withdrew in 2017. Coming off 16th place finish at the Fortnite, 60th at the Wyndham. The model likes him quite a bit. Aaron Rye right below him. I talked about him for the last pod we had too, and he missed the cut. Shot 70, 72, not great, but was playing really good before that. So I would go back to him this week. Taylor Moore. He played here in 2017, finished 53rd. For some reason, my model likes him as well. Adam Sevenson, another guy at $7,100, missed the cut here in 2019, finished 39th, 2018, and did play a couple weeks ago out in California, finished 51st. And we start to get really slim pickings down here, but there's a few guys. Chad Raymie at 7,000. Some reason, again, the model likes him, 26th here. Back in 2018, missed the cut out in California a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Raymie was a popular name. Like in the Discord, some guys were talking about him. I'm like, oh, I'll look at him. Big Corn Ferry score. So if he can get his birdie fest on, he's a guy to look at for sure. For me, Lucas Herbert rates out well here. He rates out well a lot, and he's always hit and miss. But birdie or better, he's 25th, 11th in driving distance, 1st in par 5. So if you can attack those, you got a chance. Ryan Armour's always interesting. You mentioned he's got success at this event. Henrik Norlander finished 4th here last year. He's not playing the greatest of golf coming in, but he's 20th in my model, 13th in approach, 17th par 5 scoring. Driving distance is not great, but if you got the approach game on, not too bad. So Norlander is interesting at 72. Guy that's played well here. Matt Wallace, actually surprised to see he's only $7,100. The dude was playing really good golf towards the end of last year. Took some time off. He's 6th in my model, so I don't mind getting some him. I love Svensson, like you mentioned. 11th in my model, 2nd in approach in this field, 1st in opportunities gained. So he just doesn't drive it far. He's low in driving distance, but overall plays really well. He played decent at the 4 and 1 bad round. He actually should have been much better off. So I like that call at 71 with Svensson as well. Then other than that, like you mentioned Raymie, Strzok is always interesting in fields like this, decent in driving distance, but can be very, very bogey happy at times. And I think that's it in this range. What do you got in 6K and below?
Hudson Swafford at 69. Missed the cut here last year, 26 back in 2018. I talked him up at the Fortnite there, and of course he misses the cut after shooting 77 on the first day, but was playing pretty well before that, 17th and 11th in his 2 starts previous to that. So Swafford at 69, in my opinion, is worth it. Nick Hardy is another guy at 69 there. 36th last time out at the Fortnite, 42nd the Phoenix Open earlier this year. I think he's coming off the Corn Ferry Tour or whatever. A few more guys: Vanderwald at 6,500, Davis Riley at 6,400, Seth Reeves at 6,300, and last but not least, Colin Taryn. Not really sure why my model likes him. He's never played here, and he missed the cut out in California a couple weeks ago, but for whatever reason, his stats are there. So, yeah.
I like the Swafford call. He let us all down because I had a lot of him as well with you. But he's 3rd off the tee, 9th birdie or better, 11th in opportunities gained, 27th in driving distance, 14th in proximity, 125 to 150. So he's not an expensive guy, but he rates out pretty well overall. So he's intriguing at 69. I like the Nick Hardy pivot. He doesn't light the world on fire in any one category, but he's not bad really in any one category either. So he should be able to grind, make a cut, maybe make a run. So I think that's intriguing as well. Some other guys, though, Adam Shanks, 12th in my model. He's a 7th in par 5 scoring, 17th in driving distance. He's interesting. Sam Ryder, I was actually surprised to see down here. He's 6,700. He's 14th in my model. Another decent driver of the golf ball, 3rd in birdie or better, 7th in proximity. So he's not a bad one to look at either. And then other than that, man, it's some murky water when you go around. Like You got Brendan Hagee, who's a bomber, but he does a lot of other things that are a little nasty. Lahiri's interesting, actually, at 62. I don't mind him if you want to just say screw it. But other than that, man, the other one I would mention, I used him a lot in the alt events like the Bermuda and stuff. Paul Barjon is 6K. He's 23rd in my model. He's 7th in proximity, 30th in driving distance, 28th in birdie or better, 14th in par 5 scoring, 400 to 450. He's made like 3 or 4 straight cuts on PGA Tour, played decent on the Corn Ferry. If you just want to punt it, 6K. I remember using him in those island events, and he can get birdie happy at times. He really can. So 6K for Barjon is quite the punt play if you want to say screw it. I don't mind that one at all. All right, let's recap things real quick, Jesse. 10K and above, who are you looking at?
Zalatoris.
I'm gonna go with Surge. I'm gonna ride the Surge train. It might backfire, but if it's not Surge, it's Connors. But I'm gonna go Surge. See how it goes. 9K range. Go ahead and go with 2.
Mito and Charlie. Top and bottom.
And Charlie. I'll go with Tringali and Bradley to be different. Hoffman's my favorite, though. I'll be with you there. 8K range. Go ahead and go with 2.
I'll say Power for sure, and then flip a coin between Wolf and Woodland.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Power and Kazire, but like you said, watch that like Ortiz, Wolf, Woodland range, really, and Wise even. Those 4 guys are some really, really good golfers for this field. If they can click, I have no problem seeing any of them win this thing. Like it wouldn't be shocked. So keep an eye on that range for sure. 75 to 79. Who you like?
Pendrick.
Yeah, Pendrick is pretty much the play. If you don't want Pendrick, go Bramlett. 7K to 74.
Burgoon.
I like the Burgoon call. I'm gonna go with Svensson. I'm gonna go with Svensson on that one. Then who's your top 6K play?
I'll say Nick Hardy.
I'm gonna go with Barjon. Just say screw it and punt the damn thing. Just go that. If you're already down here anyways, what's the real difference in most of these 6K guys to begin with? Let's just save some cash and go that direction. If you're starting out a cash game though, Jesse, who are you starting out with?
Power and Pendrick, and I would probably try to get Charlie Hoffman on there as well.
I like the Pendrick call for sure in a cash game. I think Pendrick and Hoffman makes sense. I'm with you there. I'll probably throw in Seamus Power. Is that the 3 you just mentioned?
I mentioned, yes, yeah. I mentioned Power.
I was literally just scrolling through. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll go with those 3 if I'm starting out. So alrighty then. If you're going GPP though, what 3 guys you starting out with?
I'll say Cam Davis, Patrick Rogers, and then you get you somebody like Aaron Rye.
Okay. Give me Keegan, Trangali, and Barjon. Since I said he's my punt, go ahead and use him. Then you could probably get a 10K guy if you want to mix and match from there. But you can go a lot of weird. If you just play Barjon, you're going to be unique already. So have some fun in your GPP. All right, the most important part of the show, Jesse. I got DK Sportsbook up. Who you got winning this thing?
I should already have the sportsbook pulled up because I was looking at NFTs like when we started this.
Yeah, did you become a newer member of?
No, I didn't. I was not even anywhere close today for any of the new ones. Man, this is ugly. But Mito at 35, I think is good. He'll probably be heavily bet, I would imagine. So I still like 35 there on him. Pendrick at 50, not terrible.
Wolf at 40's got life. Is there something about him?
Bramlett at 65.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad either. Scrolling down farther, I'm trying to see because a lot of first-time winners here is what you get. So
yeah,
a lot of guys like from out of nowhere could come. I didn't even mention John Augustine because he doesn't rate out good here, but he played well at Safeway. He was a popular name last year.
What's the Safeway?
Yep, or the Fortnite. A stupid name. He played well in Napa. I'll tell you that much. Played well in Napa. But yeah, down here it's going to get dicey. Let's see what some top 20 odds are because this is a great website that actually shows these things for me without being a dum-dum. So let's have some top 20 fun with some of these bigger names. Matty Wallace at 350, man. He's too good to be down here, in my opinion. But maybe that's just me. You got Swafford down here. Armour's plus 500 at top 20. That wouldn't shock me if he gets hot.
Fast winner.
Yep. Svensson at plus 500, I kind of like. If he gets hot, that could be a fun one with some good odds. Norlander finished 4th here last year. He's plus 600. Dylan Fratelli's down here for crying out loud. Guy almost won. He finished top 5 at the Open, the British Open, and now he's down here with the scrubs. So yeah, this is some good stuff. You got some names down here. You can actually have some fun. You got the Wu brothers, Brandon Wu and I think Dylan Wu down here that can go birdie fest or blow ups. Barjon's plus 1,400 to top 20. Get some people. I'm just kidding. Let's see what he has to top 40. If he's that at top 20, you might get some really good odds here. Where is he down here? Let me scroll. He's going to be down at the bottom, of course. Barjon, where are you? How did I? He's plus 400 to top 40. So I don't hate that, folks, because I actually think he's decent enough to make it happen. So top 40 plus 400, top 20 plus 1,400. I wouldn't bet him to win, though. Any final thoughts for the Sanderson Farms?
I don't. Good luck.
Yep, going to be a fun one. Hope everybody enjoys it. Check us out on Twitter at AlwaysPressDFS. Give a rate and review on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. If you have any questions, hit us up in the Fantasy DJs Discord. Check out Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. I'm at BD Intric, but until next time, good luck, everybody. This was the Sanderson Farms preview of the 2022 calendar season. See you later.